I'm on Singapore Hill, and it's the highest point in Singapore, they said. And 200 years ago, this past January, Sir Raffles came and planted a flagpole, and that's a replica of it. And all the flags on the side were used to tell the townspeople what ships were here and where they were from, send messages. And where that white building is where he built a shack or house, 100 foot by 50 feet, that was a thatch roof building. And then some years later they tore it down and built a administrative building there. So this became known then as Government Hill. And then they tore that down and built a fort here. There's not much left of the fort, but we'll see that in a minute. But they named the fort after the governor of Southeast Asia for Britain, who was a fellow by the name of Canning. And so this is Canning Hill now, or Canning Fort Hill. Raffles was quite the botanist, and so the trail leading up the steps had examples of the plants that he cultivated from down low to up high. This is a pretty good hill. This is the gate to the fort. It was built in 1860. And you see part of the walls. They said this is all that's left of the 1860 fort. And by that time, the Army had taken this place over, so there was no Raffles House, and there was no government administrative offices. They moved to what would be later called Parliament House. We're going to go there today too. But this is the gate going in to the fort, which still remains. And then once inside, if you look over to your right, that used to be the parade ground, but is now, you see the steps over there going up that little hill, that's now a water reservoir for the city, where they would pump it up into this and then let gravity provide the pressure to the houses in Singapore. Here's the fort. It was here until 1926. During World War II, they built a bunker underneath us, and this is where the General Sir Percival lost the battle, but his headquarters were down, and this was an escape hatch. Of course, it would have been camouflaged with bushes and trees and stuff, but this was in case they got overrun. This is the entrance to the battle box, they call it. It's basically an underground complex. It's pretty big inside, but it's where they made the decisions during World War II. And this is where they decided to surrender. It's not where the surrender took place, but where they decided to.